For this week's Read and Reflect, I'm going to be reading from Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 5. It is better to heed the rebuke of a wise person than to listen to the song of fools. We make a lot of decisions in life, and some of those decisions are easier than others. Some are more life-changing than others, but we certainly make a lot of decisions. And I think that there's a lot of voices that try to impact or influence the decisions that we make. There's advertisements that are all around us. News, social media, even our friends, our coworkers, our family members. There's just a lot of people who try to influence the decisions we make for one reason or another. And sometimes I think it's kind of hard for us to decide what the correct path is. And we can't always trust ourselves either. I know I talk a lot in my Read and Reflects about that sinful nature that we all have. But it's true, we all have a sinful nature, and it causes us to, I think, a lot of times make decisions that are focused solely on ourselves and what's going to bring us instant gratification. And so how do we filter out what's the wise advice and what's the song of fools? That's a key part of this verse. It's better to heed the rebuke of a wise person than to listen to the song of fools. So I kind of think about a fact scenario. If I'm at a fork in the road and I have to make a decision, and say that decision may lead to some instant gratification, the way I'm leaning towards it, it's going to lead to that instant gratification. But I'm not seeing the harm that might come from that decision. Down the road, maybe there's some spiritual harm, maybe physical harm, maybe harm to a relationship. It could be harm that would be caused to someone else as a result of my decision. And I talked to a couple different friends, and the first one, it's a great conversation. And they say, hey, you do you. Whatever you decide, I'm here for it. I'm going to support you, whatever you decide. I probably walk away from that conversation feeling pretty good. But then a second friend might be more of a tough conversation. They may tell me, you know what, you're being short-sighted. This is going to lead to harm. And maybe we can talk through what would be a better decision. And a conversation like that might be a little bit uncomfortable. But which one of these friends was providing wise advice? Which one was really cared for me? I think, of course, it would be the second friend. In my last Read and Reflect, I mentioned a verse from Proverbs, and that was Proverbs 27:6. It says, wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. And I think that's incredibly relevant to this verse from Ecclesiastes. A true friend is someone who's willing to give you wise advice, even when that means it's going to involve an uncomfortable conversation with you. Even when it means it's telling you something that you don't necessarily want to hear. Even when it means rebuke. That's the word from our verse in Ecclesiastes. The verse says it's better to heed the rebuke of a wise person than to listen to the song of fools, which I think suggests that sometimes we ignore wise counsel. I think the song of fools is more flattering sometimes. The song of fools, I think, comes in the form of phrases like, you do you, maybe even you only live once, or the phrase, follow your heart. Pastor Chris shared recently in one of his messages from Jeremiah, where it says, the heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? That's that sinful nature that's drawing us in certain directions. That's why we can't always trust our own decision making. And this verse, it tells us it's important to heed the rebuke of the wise. It's important for us as we're making decisions to seek counsel from other people, wise counsel. Dave Ramsey, the financial guru, he tends to tell his listeners, don't take financial advice from broke people. And it makes sense. In the same way, if you want to make wise, godly decisions, you have to seek out wise, godly counsel. Not just someone who's going to be a yes man, but someone who's going to give you wise advice, even when that means an uncomfortable conversation, even when it means that they're going to tell you something that you don't want to hear. Sometimes we need that correction because it's what's best for us. So my encouragement to you, when you have tough decisions, seek out wise, godly counsel, and then heed their advice. Have a great week, everyone.